Hello YouTube, it's Diani. Thank you for tuning in to another video. We are on a roll today. I think this is video number 4, but I may keep going. I'm probably gonna try and do like one more video today. I don't know. I'm on a roll. Like my mind is just feeling so awake right now, and all of the ideas are just flowing in. I have so many ideas written down, and I can't wait to turn them all into videos. There is like 70 of them. It'll be impossible for me to do all 70 today, but yeah, I think I said in the last video I'm gonna try and get like 4 or 5. But other than that, hopefully you've had a good day and you're gonna enjoy this video, because this for me is so underrated and it's so easy to do, which makes me believe that is the reason why it's underrated. It's so easy to say no, so easy. Just look at somebody and say no, but it's actually a lot harder than that. In the beginning, at least, when you do it a couple of times, it's like, no, I don't want to do that. But in the beginning, I do understand it is very hard to do. But throughout this video, I'm going to explain why you have to learn how to say no, which is the title of today's video. You have to learn how to say no. Learn to say no. Because a lot of people fail in life because they never learn how to say no. And I've seen that firsthand. I've seen a lot of people get themselves in situations they wish they never got into. Me, myself, when I was younger, I got myself in so many situations that I wish I never got myself into. But I got myself into those situations because I want to be a people's person. I never wanted to say no. I always wanted to say yes. And there's people out there that always want to say yes so they don't upset their friends or upset certain people. But the only person who actually gets the bad side of the effects is the person saying yes. The person who doesn't say no. Because by you not saying no, you're affecting yourself. Saying no is more powerful than saying yes. And I believe that because it shows a certain level of dominance and self-belief that you can say no and nothing will happen. Because saying no literally is, nothing's going to happen. You can just say no. Saying no sets your boundaries. If you say yes to everything, you are paving the way for everyone to meet you at ground level and walk over you. Essentially saying that if you have no boundary, if you don't say no a couple of times, and you don't set your foundation onto something, if you're not the person that will say yes to everything, well, you're gonna be known as that, and everyone's gonna come to you to ask for things. And the issue with that is you will never get your needs attended. Each time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else, because there's only so much time in the day. By following through with the things you say yes to, you miss out on other opportunities. And this links to what I was just trying to say about people will come to you and ask you for favors. And it's not to say that you should not be helping your neighbor. Help your neighbor. Help people that need help. But don't help every single person. Because if you're seen as the person who will help every single person and you don't say no to everything, well, then there's liberties that start to take effect and people will actually use you. And you don't want to be used because it will lead you to miss out on the things that you may want to do. And everyone has wants. So you don't want to just be that person that always says yes and misses out on your own wants, because it will lead you down to the wrong path. A lot of people say no because they don't want to be seen as selfish or rude. However, self-care is necessary. Constantly saying yes means you will also put other people's priorities above your own, so you won't have enough energy for yourself. If you consistently say yes to everything, to literally everything, there's only 24 hours in a day. Me and you have the same 24 hours. So what I try and do in my 24 hours by saying no to somebody, you may not be able to because you said yes. If you say 10 yeses to 10 different people, you have 10 things that you most likely have to do. And if you go through and do all those things, and maybe you wanted to do something throughout that day, you will never find the time to do it. It's hard to balance all those things because there's also unpredictable circumstances. Something may come and that person may be like, oh, you're already here, help me do this too. And you don't want to be that person because you will miss out on the things that you need yourself. I also painted the point of saying no keeps you away from the path of resentment and bitterness because you have prioritized yourself before the needs of others. And it's not saying that you should not be helping other people, but prioritize yourself. Help people after you've helped yourself, or help people with enough time that you can still help yourself. By leaving your needs unattended, you'll go through life blaming people for all the struggles when all you have to do was say a few no's. Just by saying a few no's, you actually save yourself from resentment and bitterness. And you may not believe this, but there are actually people out there who have said yes to literally everything in their life and wish they never did. Because by saying yes to literally everything, well, at that point in time, you've just given up ownership of your life. Everybody else owns you. You don't even own yourself. You don't actually have the right for yourself anymore. Because you may say tomorrow that you want to do something, but if you have already said yes to 10 people for tomorrow, your tomorrow is already booked out before you can even book it yourself. Saying no shows you are assertive in yourself, and you don't need other people's approval or validation. And people can see that. If you say no and you are seen as somebody who doesn't need other people's validation or approval, people will see that and they will recognize that. And they won't want to play with you. They won't want to just use you and just see you as a tool. Because trust me, humans are like that. Humans will use you as a tool. If you don't have your own self-validation, if you can't even say no for yourself and you can't say, no, I don't want to do this, and you don't need other people to fight for you, people can see that. And it can defend you before you know, it can defend you without you having to defend yourself. You won't have to say anything. Just by you saying no is a defense in itself. This can open so many doors for you because people love a person who can say no. The majority of people who have yes men around them suffer. But if you're that person who says no and keeps to 100, then you will go far in life. I've seen so many stories about like rappers and stuff who only had yes men around them, who always just said yes to whatever they wanted. And what does that lead to? It leads to their own downfall. But imagine that person had a no person, someone that says no around them. Imagine that person who's fighting for specific things in their life. And there was somebody who went up to them and said, no, don't do that. You should not be doing that. Imagine what would happen to that person. That person would have seen a drastic change in their life. They may have never went down a certain path that they went down. But because they had yes people around them, they fell down and they weren't able to get back up. Because they didn't have people to say no around them. And if everybody learned how to say no, and all those people around them that were yes men, and all those yes men actually turned to no men and said no to specific things. Obviously not saying no to absolutely everything, but if that one person says, oh, let's do this, and they're like, no, we're not going to do that. That doesn't benefit you in any way. Well, that person can only be seen as, they'll only have improvements in their life. Because when they fall out of line and say, let's do this, and the group says no, well, they're going to get back in check and say, oh, maybe I was wrong for saying that. Maybe I should just listen to them. Maybe they're actually looking out for me. And that will save that person from the majority of mistakes that they may want to make in their life. Saying no allows you to overcome the feeling of guilt or fear. By saying yes to everything, you never experience that growth in saying no and tackling those feelings. And everybody has to get past that. Everybody has to tackle those feelings. The feeling of guilt and fear that you feel before saying no. If you have that feeling with you for the rest of your life, it'll be very, very hard for you to achieve your goals and do what you want to do. Because by saying no, you actually help yourself. That is just seen as yourself as a level up. Because if you just say yes to absolutely everything, you may get yourself in a shady deal. Let's say you bring out a business deal, or somebody brings a business deal to you, and you know that it's a shady contract. But you have never said no to anybody in your life, and you never said no before. You're going to struggle to say no. And what will you do? You'll cave in. You'll eat yourself up and say, I don't want to be guilty. I'm too scared to do it. Eat yourself up and you'll just say yes. And guess what? Now you're going to jeopardize your own life. And as I said, though, it is a difficult thing to do. It's not very easy to start to just say no to people. But before you battle things externally, battle things internally. The best way to start, and the best way that I did it, was learn to say no to yourself. Learn to say no. I might add this in because I haven't actually written this down. But learn to say no when you want to give up. As I was younger, I used to hate going to the gym because I would be going to school with my school bag and my gym duffel bag with all my stuff. Back in the day, I used to carry so much. I don't know why I did. I used to carry spare shoes. I think I used to carry ankle weights inside my bag as well. I used to carry so much things with me to school. And then I'd carry my school bag as well. I hated going to the gym every single day after school. But I learned to say no to myself. When I said I don't want to do this anymore, and said I can't be bothered, I learned to say no to myself. I said, no, you can be bothered, and you will do it. I took my bags with me to school every single day for I think about 3 years, from year 11 up until year 13. I bought that heavy, if you know me in person, you know that I did this. I brought my heavy duffel bag with me consistently to school. My duffel bag in my right hand, and I had my school bag on my back. Trekking, going to school, and then going back home, and going to the gym with this heavy bag. Because I said no to myself. Majority of the time I'd wake up and be like, I can't be bothered to go to the gym today. But I said no, I'm going to play basketball at break on lunch, play basketball after school, and then I'm going to go to the gym, and then I'm going to go home. And that was my routine. And I learned to say no to myself when I got tired. I say, I'm not tired. We're going to do it again tomorrow. So what are you going to do? Quit today and then quit tomorrow as well? No. You're going to do it today, you're going to do it tomorrow, and you're going to do it consistently because that's what you should be doing. So learn to say no to yourself in terms of giving up. Learn to say no when spending. Don't make reactionary emotional purchases without thinking through them. Say no to yourself in the moment and wait till the next day to see if you really want it. And I learned that there was a story of a man and he was talking about if you want to buy something, no one's going to say to you, don't make purchases, but don't make emotional and reactionary purchases. If you see something and you get those, I think it's endorphins or the dopamine hits inside of you where you're like, oh, I actually want this. I want this so badly. Wait a day. Close whatever you're looking at. Close it and wait a day. And come back the next day and see if you really want it. Most likely you won't really want it. At that point in time, you start to imagine things. Oh, how I could use this, or how I could do this with this, and do these things with this. You're imagining things. And that's what's leading you to make that purchase. But if you just step back and take a deep breath in and say, do I actually need this? That can save you from so many things. You say no to yourself when you want to make emotional spending, and it will save you. My biggest regret is buying my PS5. So around November, I was making a lot of money. And I said, you know what, yeah, I haven't gamed for about 4 months. So I said, let me buy my PS5. So I went and bought a PS5 and I bought FIFA. If you watch my other video, I spoke about how I was an addicted FIFA player. And now I'm an addicted FIFA player with a lot of money. So what happened? I went and spent a lot of money on FIFA within that like 2 months. And the issue of that was, it was so reactionary. And that annoys me so much. And the worst part about it is, I don't play it anymore. I haven't played it for like the past 3 months. Now I use my PS5 as a charger. I literally plug all my stuff inside of it so that I can charge my phone, charge my pods, turn on my electric light, all of these stuff. And it annoys me so much because I don't use it anymore. Because I made that reactionary mistake and that reactionary purchase and bought the PS5 when I felt like I was going to actually use it for a long time. I was like, yeah, I'm going to play it for the whole year. I don't even touch it anymore. I turn it on to charge other things. Somebody said it's the most expensive extension cord that I have in my house because I told somebody else to actually just use it to charge other things. And it's the truth. I wish I never bought it because I don't use it anymore. It was a reactionary purchase. So learn to say no to yourself. If I learned how to say no to myself, I would have saved so much more money. So much more money. But now, because I made that mistake, I've learned from that mistake to say no to myself as well. My cat's about to jump on the table. Don't spend what you don't have. Not saying that you should live a frugal life, but don't go out there making purchases and spending things and buying things that you just want. Learn to say no to yourself. If you know you can afford it and you want it, by all means go on. But if you know that by you making this purchase, and this is not like an investment towards like a business or something, like taking a risk, I'm all for that. But if it's like just a random purchase that's a big expense to you, and it's just like, oh, I want this. Like, let's say you want to buy a new bag or you want to buy some new shoes that cost you half your wage, all because you want them, because you've been working hard recently and about treating yourself. Ironically, one of my friends, he actually said this to me. I went to the gym and I was ordering food. And when he watches this video, you know I'm talking about him. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit hungry. Let me treat myself. So my plan was to buy a burger. It's basically a burger meal and a waffle with honey. And then a chocolate milkshake. And he was sitting there, I was like, oh, why do you want to buy all that stuff? I was like, honestly, I want to treat myself. He said, treat yourself for what? I was like, oh, well, I played basketball for about 2-3 hours. Then I went to the gym for about 2-3 hours. And I'm going to go home and do some work. But he said, do you need to treat yourself for that? And I was like, I actually don't, because that should be the average. I should already be doing that. 2 sessions of training in a day. I should be doing that. I do it every single Monday. So every single day should just be like that. I wouldn't go on Monday and be like, oh, I've done my 2 sessions, let me go treat myself. I wouldn't do that. So why did I try to treat myself on that day? And because he said that to me, it made me say no to myself. I was like, you know what, yeah, cool, you're right. Let me not buy the snacks. I didn't buy the snacks. I ended up eating the burger and I almost didn't finish it. I was so full. Imagine I bought the waffle with the Greek yogurt and stuff. And then I also bought the milkshake. I would not have even touched it. I'd have been annoyed with myself for buying that stuff without even touching it. But because I said no to myself at that point in time, I saved myself the money because I could have just wasted that money there and then. And this links to the next point. Learn to say no when eating. Be critical with what you are putting inside your body. Learn to say no to your craving. It may taste nice, but say no. That's also as it links with what I was just talking about. I had to say no at that point in time. He was right. I didn't deserve to treat myself. Even though it would have tasted nice, I still had to say no. And because I said no, well, 1, I saved the money, and 2, I didn't gain the calories there because at that point I would have just wasted the training. All the training that I put in, the basketball that I played, and then me going to the gym after to build up the muscle and burn the calories. Would have been for no reason because I would have just put it straight back on in terms of from the waffle and the chocolate milkshake. And that chocolate milkshake, there's literally no dietary benefits inside of it. I'm not getting no protein inside of it. It's just straight fat and carbs and sugars. Like there's nothing in there that can actually benefit me. So I had to say no. Throughout my life, I've actually learned to say no a lot from eating because the majority of the time I want to eat like an animal. Like I want to eat all the snacks in the world. But you have to learn how to say no, especially when you're cutting. If you're cutting, you know this. You have to learn how to say no. Because if all you do is say yes to everything and you're like, cool, I've burned 1,000 calories today. My maintenance is about 3,000 calories. Okay. My food is about 2.5. I want to cut. But there's this chocolate cake. Let me just take a little nibble of it. That little nibble of chocolate cake, you don't even know how many calories it has inside of that. That could potentially make you start bulking for the day. And you wouldn't even know. But by you saying no to that chocolate cake and staying strict with your diet, the benefits that you'll see in the long run, you wouldn't even be able to see, you wouldn't even realize it. But then you just start to see, wow, I'm actually getting shredded and shredded and shredded and shredded. But what have you been doing? Just by saying no, 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 no. Not picking up those snacks that you want to eat. Just say no to yourself. Stop your cravings. And with this, then, by you learn how to say no to yourself and disciplining yourself, then you can go to other people and learn how to say no to people. You don't have to attend every single meetup or event. Learn to say no and don't feel anything about it. Sometimes you just have to look somebody in the face and just say no. No. I don't want to go. No. You invited me out, thank you. But I don't want to go. You have to learn how to say that. Because by you attending every single event, when will you get your time to do what you need to do? You don't have to try and fit in. Learn to say no. Because it can actually save you from so many things. As I said with my story from before, if I learned how to say no at a younger age, and I learned how to say no throughout secondary school, the amount of situations I would have saved myself from, I wouldn't even be able to count them with my hands. Because by saying yes to so many situations, you get yourself in so much mix-up, so much troubles. But by saying no, by not trying to fit in, by just being like, nah, everyone's doing this, I'm fine. All you guys want to go there, cool. And you know that group is about to go do some madnesses. Nah, I'm cool. I'm not involved. You've just saved yourself. You've saved yourself from that damnation that they're going towards. A simple no. It may look like it's nothing, but a simple no has just saved you. So that's basically it. Just learn how to say no. By you saying no, you will see drastic improvements inside your life.